The Nelson Mandela Bay Council meeting expected to debate a motion of no confidence against Mayor Eugene Johnson has been adjourned. City Manager Dr. Noxolo Nqwazi says they've been served with papers appealing a declaratory order against the Northern Alliance councillors. One of the councillors is suspended Speaker Gary Van Niekerk. The trio applied for the order after they were suspended from participating in council activities. Van Niekerk was suspended as a speaker after his party requested the city manager to declare a vacancy in their places in council. Let's get more on this story with SABC News reporter Lerato Fekisi, who's standing by for us. A very good afternoon to Lerato. Just give us some context and tell us what happened today.
A very good afternoon to you, Nzinga. Well, the council meeting, like you said, has been adjourned. We arrived this morning first to hear that there were death threats against a DA councillor, and then they adjourned for about 20 minutes. After that, proceedings carried on, and the Speaker Gary Van Niekerk then said he's going to present to us that the fact that there has been a court order that's been brought forward to this council. At that time, he handed over to the municipal manager, Noxolo Nqwazi, who then said that there is indeed a court order that's been brought against a council sitting today, the court order being against the 3 Northern Alliance councillors. The court order saying that they're not supposed to be part of this council meeting because, according to the court order brought forward before this meeting, they actually are not councillors anymore. Then the Speaker of Council, Gary Van Niekerk, said that he cannot allow the municipal manager to sit there and act like he doesn't know, because according to the papers that he sees in front of him brought forward, the first applicant is the municipality, and ironically, Nzinga, the second applicant is then the city manager, who then obviously then turned the twist around to say that the same city manager who is saying that the council must be adjourned is actually the one who actually applied for this meeting not to take place. But joining me this afternoon is the Speaker, Gary Van Niekerk, to also break down to us exactly what he saw and why things stand currently with the council being adjourned. Gary, this morning you said that it would be not right of you as a councillor to sit there and listen to city manager Noxolo Nqwazi saying that the papers have just been brought quickly now and it must be adjourned, where all along she was a second applicant in this court order brought forward this morning.
Good afternoon. Yes, that is indeed true. I had to act according to my conscience. I represent people, I represent the voters out there, I represent the residents. When I sit in my chair, I sit there as speaker. But all the shenanigans that's going on here, it's all an attempt of the ANC to cling on to power. We had the numbers today, but for some other reason, the city manager, who shouldn't be sitting in that seat in the first place, then decided to produce a document saying we just got served. When asked to read out the document to tell us who are the applicants in the matter and who's the respondent, she only read the respondents into the record. But like I said, I then made it known to council that it's indeed the first applicant being the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality, which is us here, and we've never given such an instruction. And then secondly, it's the same city manager who was just as surprised to get the paper, to receive the papers. Look, this chaos is being created by the ANC to invoke Section 12. The reason why they want to bring Section 12 is to get rid of all the smaller parties. Eventually it will only be the DA, ANC, EFF and ourselves, the Northern Alliance, who will form part of the new executive. And we already made it very well known that we are against it. But this self-created chaos is being used to invoke Section 12, and that is what we are against.
And then Gary, I know that currently the papers that were issued to court, you haven't had a chance to look at them, but we have heard that they are appealing against whether the NA councillors are indeed councillors, some that the IEC is actually going to give a ruling on, or the court's going to give a ruling on tomorrow. So should the IEC rule that in fact the Northern Alliance councillors are indeed councillors, then that makes this council meeting being adjourned also not legal.
There are so many legal matters being heard at the moment. We were in court last week to be in the meeting of the 30th. After that, we were again in court on Friday to be in the meeting today. And yesterday, we were in court to stop the interdict of the mayor, and we were successful there. So we always being successful in all these cases. Tomorrow we do have an interim interdict already that stops the IEC and the city manager from filling any vacancies or declaring vacancies, and tomorrow it will be made permanent. The case of tomorrow is dependent on a case that we won. They tried to appeal it, the detractors of our party, the Northern Alliance. We won that case as well. It was dismissed. The appeal was dismissed. It wasn't even heard, and tomorrow it will be made final. So all these are games. All they're trying to do is play for time, which is the 14 days for public participation, and then invoke Section 12. The Northern Alliance, together with all our other coalition partners, will fight this tooth and nail to make sure that Section 12 does not get invoked in this municipality.
If you're saying fighting tooth and nail, you mean you guys are going to go to the court now, going against this court order as well?
What we are saying is once, even before that, but the 14 days, we are going to fight that they invoke Section 12. That's another matter. It's going to be a new matter after we've been declared councillors tomorrow again, permanently. Remember, we've got a temporary interdict. Tomorrow it will be made permanent, and then we take on the new matter. Unfortunately, we don't want to be in court. As a party, we don't have the money to be in court all the time, but unfortunately, that's the only remedy that's left to us.
And then Gary, just lastly, you also just mentioned the fact that this is also a disgrace to the Metro, because we're speaking about a sixth mayor in 6 years, a mayor who hasn't been in power for less than a year. And then also when you speak about it being a disgrace, you spoke of the fact that it's a disgrace because people are watching what's happening in the Metro for a long time and seeing really the political theatrics in the Metro, and this trickles down to service delivery, which has been compromised all the time. So as councillors, isn't this not also time perhaps to just really get to the party and get things going, because service delivery is really been compromised?
You know, our job is so simple as council and as councillors, and as to this, our job is to deliver services, potholes, constant supply of electricity, water leaks, constant supply of water as well. This is our job. We're supposed to provide that kind of oversight, but in this municipality, unfortunately, we do not put the interests of the residents of this municipality first, and that is what is sad. I come from an impoverished community in the northern areas, where that's our constituency as a party. And how do I go back and tell the people and look them in the eyes and tell them the reason why you can't get services is because of all the shenanigans that's going on here in council? It's sad that we can't put the interests of the residents first, and it's time that we hold ourselves to account, and it's time that the ANC, especially the ANC, takes the responsibility and hold themselves to account for what's happening here today. We certainly won't form part of any ANC coalition anymore. It's final, and yes, we are now part of the DA coalition.
Well, that was the NMB Council Speaker Gary Van Niekerk first stating that they will no longer form part of the ANC-led coalition. Indeed, they now join the DA-led coalition, but also just stating that as council, it's important to make sure that services go to the people, and such theatrics going on in the council really do put a stop to that. Also saying that they want to make sure they stop the implementation of Section 12, which would see only 4 parties in council. But for now, let's go back to you in studio.